Give us a brief overview of your background.
I studied my electrical and electronics engineering in India, and during my engineering days, I realized the aspect of my course that I really enjoyed was application of mathematics to solve business problems. So I started as a data consultant at a company in India, and then I got into Facebook, moved to Menlo Park to work on their advertising and marketing research team. While at Facebook, after spending 3 years, I was living in San Francisco, and I was really inspired by the tech community over here and the startup community. So I realized that what I wanted to do in the long run was do data science for new product development. And that's when I decided to join startups in the Bay Area. I worked at a couple of startups, Double Dutch and Tile. One of them got acquired and Tile is still operating. And then after spending 2 years at startups, I wanted to get some stability. And that's when I joined Pinterest, and I've been at Pinterest since then. I started as a data scientist on their ads data science team. And then I grew up to build a team of my own. I'm currently an engineering manager leading the data science team for ads within Pinterest.
Why did you pursue an EMBA?
So all throughout this process, I got a bunch of learnings, and I realized that there are a lot of areas that I need to learn more about. For example, when I was in startups, I saw the co-founders pretty closely. I was working directly with them, and I saw some areas where they were lacking or they needed some more guidance on. And as I want to pursue long-term entrepreneurship, I thought it'll be better to learn from experts in a professional setting, from like academics, people who have experience or who have taught people of this sort in the long run. Also at Pinterest, as I'm taking up more and more leadership opportunities, I'm seeing the need to think about how to set vision for the team, how to inspire the team. Though I'm pretty strong technically, I feel like there are some areas that I could definitely learn from. And that's why I thought EMBA is a good place to get those type of knowledge.
How did you decide which business school to attend?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I wanted to apply or do a program only in schools in the Bay Area, and the top two schools in the Bay Area currently are Haas from Berkeley and the Wharton's SF campus. So I started my application thinking about applying to both the schools, and that's what I did. And while during the application process, I attended a bunch of sessions organized by all these schools, admission counseling, and then finally I decided to join Wharton School.
How did you know that Wharton was the best fit for you?
So during the admission counseling sessions that I attended in both the schools, I got to learn about some of the things that these schools are strong at. And I saw that some of the areas like Wharton's MBA course is very quant heavy, and since it's known for its finance program, which requires a lot of quant application, and they're also known for their analytics school. So that's one of the areas that I want to pursue my long-term career in. So I wanted to pick a program that was quant heavy, and Wharton seemed like a good choice for it. Haas definitely had a lot of good things to offer, like they are known for their economics department, and that's also an area that I wanted to explore. But then when I was attending some of the classes, because both the schools allow you to attend classes if you are an applicant for their programs, I saw that the Wharton's program, or at least I found the Wharton's classes were more engaging. The professors really made it a point to connect with the students and keep them really active. So for me, it felt like Wharton was the right place for me to continue my EMBA.
What was the application process like?
It was a pretty lengthy process. There were like lots of bits and pieces that I had to bring in together. I started my application almost a year in advance prior to the admissions, application deadlines. So first thing that I did was I started preparing for my GMAT. That took me about 2 to 3 months. I took my GMAT in October 2019, and then finally I applied in December 2019 for the 2020 cohort. While I was preparing for my GMAT, I also took a lot of time to think about the essays. In Wharton, the essays are pretty lengthy, and they ask for like over 1,000 words essays. I think they have 3 essays that you need to write. At Haas, it's slightly lesser, but then it's still, you need to write up lengthy essays describing your aspiration, why you want to do an MBA. And that took me a lot of time. I really took the time to retrospect on why I wanted an MBA, how does it fit with my career aspirations. And that retrospective actually helped me come up with the right essay to write. I also attended, as I was mentioning, the admission counseling sessions from both the schools. And I also attended their in-person classes to just see how it would feel to be in a classroom. During the admission counseling, I was connected to some alumni who are either currently in the program or they have been in the program in the past. So I try to reach out to them directly, talk to them about their experience. I also had some past connections from my past work experience, and I reached out to them also to just learn about how these programs are and how are they beneficial for my long-term career growth. So yeah, there were lots of bits and pieces that I had to bring together to finally decide to apply.
What did you feel was the most challenging part of the EMBA application process?
There is often a misconception. People tend to overweigh their GMAT or any sort of quantitative test scores over a bunch of other things. So as I was applying, I saw that, and I learned through the application process that it's not always about the GMAT scores. There's a lot of other things that goes into the decision making from the admissions committee. So essays definitely play a big part. Then your interview when you are there interviewing for the program, that plays a big part. I think those were the hardest ones because for the quantitative test you mostly have a lot of good guidance online and you can learn from books. But really knowing what the program is all about, really knowing to ace the interview, to write really good essays, and also doing a lot of research, because if you do the right research, only then you'll be able to do well in the interview and also write really good essays. So these were definitely some of the complicated steps.
As you reflect on the application process, where do you feel an admissions consultant might add value?
Yeah, there are lots of spaces actually. I know that people who are busy with their work, it's hard to do this type of research, and I think an admission consultant can really help you do the right type of research. They can also help you get the right kind of connection. As I was mentioning, that I learned a lot by connecting with alumni and also attending these admission councils events. So an admission consultant can really help you do that. They can also help you plan your time. So the way you prepare for your exams, or the time you spend on writing your essays or connecting with the admissions committee or the alumni, they can also help you plan those things out better. They really personalize, they try to personalize this experience. So they try to understand the strengths and weaknesses of the person who is applying, and they will recommend the right strategy for connections or preparing for application. They'll provide those kind of right strategies. So yeah, those are areas that admission consultants can really help you with.
What are some of the things to look for when choosing an admissions consulting company?
I think personalization, admission consultants who can really connect with you and can really understand your needs and help you in the right way that you need help from. I think that's one of the things that I would want to look in admission consultants, so that it's really a personalized experience. You would want to look at how well they are connected to different aspects of this program, how well they are connected to admission committees, how well they are connected to other alumni, so that they can help you connect with them. Also, some general understanding, how good they would be in terms of helping you plan your activities, how good they would be with connecting you to the right places, helping you do the right research. I would want to look for those when I'm trying to pick an admission consultant.
What advice do you have for people considering an EMBA?
The general advice that I tend to give to any applicant for MBA or general EMBA is really think about how this program is going to fit with their long-term career goals. This MBA is probably one of the most expensive programs or degrees that you'll ever get. And EMBA, there's a saying that it's probably the last degree that you're going to get. There isn't any other degrees that you'll get after this. So really take your time to retrospect on why you want to do this program, what kind of things you would want to learn, and then try to find the right schools that are offering the things that you want to learn. A lot of the times people tend to not look at the programs or the courses that these schools are offering. They tend to just go with the brand value of a particular school. That I would not recommend people doing, because there are lots of great schools and each of these schools specialize in their own areas. I would want the applicants to really think about what they want to get out of their career in the long run and see how a school best fits their needs and fits the need of the industry that they want to be.
What are you most looking forward to at Wharton?
Yeah, so a lot of the courses are very much relatable. So I'm taking a lot of courses on stats and analytics, which is directly applicable to my regular work experience. I also took courses on economics, and given that I work on ads marketplace, there's a lot of things that I could really connect with and help me make better decisions. Other than the quant courses, I also find the courses on communication and leadership, crisis management, them to be really valuable. There's a saying that a lot of the managers in tech, they don't have any formal training, and it may be overwhelming when stressful situations arrive. And Wharton really takes the time to make sure that you're prepared for those type of stressful situations. So I'm really enjoying the courses that I'm doing. There's also a lot of opportunity to do networking. We have people from almost every kind of industry. Since it's an EMBA, people are generally more experienced over 8 to 10 years at least. There are also people with 10, 15 years of experience. So you get to meet with people at senior, mid-senior to really C-level executives in different companies, and you get to learn from their experience, and that helps you see the context on how it would be if you're taking up any sort of senior level management roles in different high-profile corporations.
What is your long-term career vision?
That's a very, very good question. Yeah, long-term career, where do I see myself in 15 years? If I think about it deeply, what I really want to do is be a good, responsible leader who can give back to the society. I want to work hard, make sure that I'm able to build either products or companies or things that can last longer than my lifetime. And then once these things are built, I want to be really responsible and think about how I can give back to the society. And that's why Wharton is a great place, because it really teaches you how to be effective while being really responsible, while taking care of important aspects when you're making critical decisions.